Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here, and today I want to answer the age-old debate of CLB versus Donda. Now, it's been around 2 years since both these albums came out, and I could do a nice, deep dive into the whole thing, how Kanye really changed the album rollout game with his Donda stadium performances, where he was changing the album as he went, super innovative and super new. I could sit here and talk about the Drake and Kanye beef and this and all that, but I wanted to do something simple, keep it fun, to celebrate the moment that these two men made back in 2021 by releasing in the same week. So, as I'm sure you could see, we got the CLB tracklist on one side, and we got the Donda tracklist on the other, minus the skits or interludes or whatever. There's no television Donda or Donda chant here, or any of the part twos. And I did add in Life of the Party at the bottom because I needed one more, and I didn't want to put a bum-ass interlude or a part two, because Life of the Party is the best song on this whole board. I know it's on the deluxe, but did want to talk about that track a little bit because it's awesome. And yeah, I guess just to give a little preface on my opinion on CLB and Donda, they're both cool albums to me. CLB is it's a little on the mid side. Both are too long, but they both also have some major highlights as well as some major execution flaws. Both albums I actually liked less when they initially came out, but not significantly less. They were CLB was a low 5 and Donda was a low 6, and now they're a high 5 and a high 6. So it's nothing crazy. It's just a little bit more appreciation for the good tracks there. But yeah, let's kick it off with the intro songs. I mean, obviously we know Donda chants the intro for Donda, but that's not a fucking song. That's annoying is what it is. And I'm gonna come through with what I would say is probably a hot take right here. And first round goes to Drake here. Jail is a super emotionally powerful song with a great Jay-Z feature, but it is a little underbaked for me to put it above Champagne Poetry. Kanye's contributions to the track, his singing is honestly really great and really powerful, but it's not doing much other than that. And the beat does rely on this electric guitar chord that's going throughout, but that's kind of all there really is. And again, Jail is one of the best songs on Donda, but Champagne Poetry was a really, really good way for Drake to kick off Certified Lover Boy. I think it's fair to say it might be the best song on the album, if not one of the best. I love the sample he uses. I love the beat switch, and I think it's just a real great welcome back track for Drake.
Daddy's home.
Moving on around two, we got Poppy's Home versus God Breathed. And these are actually two interesting songs. They both have kind of weird song structures that are, it's kind of a chorus with one verse and then an outro. On the Poppy's Home outro, of course, we got that Nicki Minaj, she's in there gassing up Drake, whatever. And, on Donda, we just get an instrumental type outro. I believe Casey has some contributing vocals in there as well, if not someone else. And I mean, these songs are roughly, I could really go either way with this, to be honest. I'm going to give it to God Breathed on this one. I like the intensity Kanye brings into that. I know God breathed on this. And I think it does have more personality than a track like Poppy's Home, which is a song that genuinely feels like it could have been on any Drake album to come out since 2017. There's nothing super special about it, although it is a solid track. So round three is Girls Want Girls with Lil Baby versus Off the Grid with Playboi Carti and 5EO4. And I mean, this is obvious. We have one of the best tracks on this board versus one of the worst. Of course, I'm talking about Girls Want Girls is one of the best. We are getting amazing Lil Baby verse, and we're getting Drake, you say you lesbian, go me too. Incredibly deep instrumentals, definitely not bland or generic at all. Obviously, I'm playing Girls Want Girls fucking sucks. Off the Grid, on the other hand, Kanye's verse is good. He has some memorably bad bars, I'm playing soccer in my backyard. I think I see messy. It could get clean, but it could get messy. That kind of sucks. But 5EO4, and of course, everyone talks about that verse. I mean, he raps for a minute and a half, great flow, some of his strongest lyrics. And then Playboi Carti also actually gives a very favorable performance over this high-intensity drill beat. This is an easy off-the-grid win for me. Next up is Hurricane with The Weeknd and Lil Baby versus In the Bible with Lil Durk and Giveon. And In the Bible, to me, has always been like a painfully like mid to subpar song. Like, it's just so basic, generic, average, bland, boring, etc., etc. I'm not gonna sit here and give you more synonyms for mid all day. It's just not an interesting song. But on the other hand, Hurricane, again, one of the best tracks on this list. There's a beautiful chorus from The Weeknd. Lil Baby's rapping his ass off on there. Kanye's contributions are great. One of my favorite songs of the decade so far, low-key. Praise God with Baby Keem and Travis Scott versus Love All with Jay-Z. I think a lot of people would be inclined to pick Love All here because it's a Drake and Jay-Z rapping track. But to be honest, again, very underbaked song, super minimalist and boring instrumental. It feels like there's nothing even going on, you know? It's just really like a drum loop on there. And Drake and Jay-Z both give fine performances. Obviously, it's nothing compared to Pound Cake / Paris Morton Music 2, but it's a fine enough song. And surprisingly, I'm going to go with Praise God here. As much as I feel like this is a pretty overrated, not that great song, it does at least have a lot of personality to it, like a Baby Keem on his verse with the "a-ba-da-da-boom." You know, he's just got that little weird flow that he hits, and it's like, it's a lot more enjoyable than anything Drake or Jay-Z has to offer on Love All. Now for Jonah versus Fair Trade with Travis Scott, and Jonah features Lil Durk, I believe. This is actually going to be Fair Trade. It's not the best Drake and Travis Scott collab. It's a weaker song for them, but it's still great. It's still a super solid track on the album. And, I mean, Jonah is literally in the Bible except on Donda. Like, that's literally what it is. Way Too Sexy versus Okay Okay. Kanye fans, be mad, because here's what I have to say on that. Both of these are pretty weak and corny tracks, to be completely honest. The beat on Okay Okay is pretty annoying and builds to nothing, and again is a beat that is just underbaked and feels unfinished. That's both of these albums, CLB and Donda. My biggest issue is that they do feel very much unfinished and have pretty not great production. I don't want to say shitty, but like pretty remarkably bland production on both albums. And Way Too Sexy is just a fun banger. Like, is it that good? Obviously no, but like, if Okay Okay and Way Too Sexy are both not that good to me, I'm taking the song that I actually would listen to, which is Way Too Sexy. Next we got TSU or Sue, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced, versus Junior. Sue is a pretty average mid-Drake song. Nothing that really stands out about it. And Junior, also not like an exceptional song. It's still like in like the good range, but at least it's memorable. You got Cardi on there, you know, 4-5 summers, 4-5 summers. And you know, Kanye is doing his little Junior watch I not be on my re. And it's just like an entertaining song. It has like the instrumental on that track is very like, it reminds me of a carnival. You know, I feel like I'm about to get scammed by some carnies for $5 to throw fucking rings around a bottle when I'm listening to that fucking track. And, you know, more memorable than Sue, so it's taking the win here. In Too Deep versus Believe What I Say is another pretty easy wash. In Too Deep it's one of these, it has a really weird strong structure where there's a beat switch halfway through, and the first half kind of just relies on this weird guitar riff that's going down while Drake's rapping, and overall forgettable mid, not great song. Believe What I Say is actually a great song, and it samples Doo-Wop That Thing by Lauryn Hill, so easy W. I know I'm about to piss a lot of people off with this one, but 24 versus Pipe Down, I know people adore 24. Honestly, this is a skip on the album for me. It just feels like it feels kind of like an interlude. Like, I know it's a song, but I just don't, it's a weird placement here. I know people adore this song. I'm personally not a fan. And Pipe Down. Now, Pipe Down uses the same beat as Heaven's EP by J. Cole. And honestly, Drake and J. Cole both give pretty even performances respectively on their tracks. This is a solo Drake track, obviously, but this is honestly one of my favorite like Toxic Boy Drake songs. I love the way this song starts. You know, he's doing that nice singing over the very soulful instrumental, and he hits that. You say you belong to the streets, but the streets belong to me. That's just like home to me. You know, it's just like, it's just that Drake, you know, it's just that Drake. So 10 songs in, Donda is up 6-4, but it's still pretty close. Obviously, you would expect Donda to win this because I did say at the beginning that it's the album that I think is better, but also, you know, it's just track list versus track list. It's not like I ordered the songs by how good they are or whatever. It's just the track list. And with a lot of Donda's best songs being out the way already, low-key, we'll see. It's going to be close, but moving on to the 11th round, we have Yebba's Heartbreak versus Remote Control with Young Thug. I think this might be another upset to some people because people, again, adored Yebba's Heartbreak on release. They were loving her performance on that track and how Drake really let her shine. And she's a great singer, but overall that track is underwhelming to me. I think there are a lot of singers better than her, and lyrically, range-wise, and in terms of the production on that track, she wasn't giving me anything super substantial. But now we look at Remote Control, and this is just another one of these fun songs here. It's actually got a nice beat. I like the way the drums build. I like how it sounds ominous. I love when Young Thug comes on. And that's an easy Donda win for me. We're going to go 3 for 3 here with another round I'm going to do that I think is going to have some people furious when I choose No Friends in the Industry by Drake over Moon by Kanye West, Don Toliver, and Kid Cudi. Now let me explain. Moon features Don Toliver's probably the best performance ever. Beautiful singing from him, from Kanye, from Cudi. When they're harmonizing, it's awesome. The beat is very atmospheric, but like, what is this song other than Don Toliver, Kanye, and Kid Cudi? Just like, I don't know, this feels like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? This is a very plastic song to me. This song feels like it was made for the intentions of people to be enamored with the singing, but when it comes down to it, there's almost zero substance in this song. It's really just a display of skills, and it's a beautiful display of skills, but I think it's a misuse of those skills. It could have been, I've said this before, this song I feel like should be an outro to a way more powerful song, a Reborn by Kid C Ghost type song. You know, there's no payoff to me for this beautiful moment. That's why I am taking No Friends in the Industry, which is where we see Drake on his hype shit, where this is like a back-to-back or a Free Smoke type Drake, where he's just absolutely rapping his ass off, talking his shit. He's coming for everybody's neck, and you know, that's just far more enjoyable to what me is a very underbaked and lackluster just misuse of a song, honestly. Really just misuse of vocals. Because, I don't know, Moon just isn't a complete song to me. I don't think I'll ever be able to view it as a complete song. Heaven and Hell versus Knife Talk. These are two songs that to me are relatively on the same playing field. I think I could go either way depending on what day it is. Heaven and Hell, I love the beat on this song. This is one of the best instrumentals on Donda, and the way it continuously progresses until that big, like, menacing beat drop. The only thing about it, and it has a super intense build, but Kanye is really rapping on this song. This is like a bullshit, like, Kanye rapping where I feel like he is just, like, saying what comes to mind next, you know? He uses the same flow for almost the entire song, and it's not the best rapping performance, but it's an overall entertaining song. And Knife Talk, like I said, is on the same level, but I'm honestly going to have to pick it just based off the fact I would actually listen to this song. Heaven and Hell I wouldn't listen to. You know, it's a pretty great song, and, like, I respect it, but, like, just because of Kanye's rapping performance, I don't know, it just doesn't resonate with me, and isn't as fun or catchy as a track like Knife Talk with Project Pat and 21 Savage. I'm Mr. Body Catcher, Slaughter Gang, Soul Snatcher. This a F-150, not a fucking Raptor. When Certified Lover Boy dropped, one of the biggest moments on the album was 7 a.m. Bridal Path, because we saw Drake taking some shots at Ye on there, and of course it was a viral moment. But as a song, that track feels like half of a Nothing Was the Same left over. You know, I feel like the instrumental carries a lot of the same vibes and aesthetics that Nothing Was the Same, except it's entirely underproduced. It feels like half the instruments that could have been placed into that beat were just taken out of it. You know, I feel like there's very little going on there, and Drake's performance is not very awe-inspiring. Like, yeah, he has the disses, but again, this is like some pretty weak rapping from Drake overall. And then we look at a track like Come to Life, which has that incredible West Side Gun feature, and I mean, as well as a super personal and vulnerable verse from Conway the Machine. And I mean, this link up is just monumental. Seeing Kanye with the Griselda boys, it's gotta take the dub here. Race My Mind versus Jesus Lord. This is literally like easy. Jesus Lord, probably the second best song on this board. I mean, that Jay Electronica verse is just like, that was one of the best features to come out in 2021. And Kanye also delivers one of his best rapping performances on the album. This is a track where Kanye is rapping for real, and I mean, just for that, it's got to take it. What was the Race My Mind? Like, who the fuck even listens to that? Fountains versus New Again. Fountains is really the track where there is a standout low-key R&B singer, because man, Thames on that track. That is one of the few R&B cuts on Certified Lover Boy, and it is one of the best. Thames, again, really just in our bag. The beat is like a typical like R&B, Drake, dancehall type beat, and you know, he's like fine on it, whatever, but like, Thames really steals it here. And New Again is like pretty fucking trash, to be honest. Like, it's not the worst song ever, but like, it better be like high with a bunch of eyes. Like, I don't know, again, Kanye's got a lot of like not good lyrics throughout this album. This is one of his weakest written albums ever. I feel like I know like 15-year-olds who could have written better verses than Kanye on some of these songs. And New Again is a track that comes to mind. I think one of my little cousins could have wrote it better. Get Along Better versus Lord I Need You. Lord I Need You is another one of these Kanye songs that I just really don't care for at all. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I think Certified Lover Boy might be a more consistently good album, but Donda, or at least a more consistent album, period, is because it's not really consistently good. It's like consistently fine. But Donda has way better highlights, but also some significantly lower lows. But like I said, it's the better album, and its highs do carry it there, as well as the fact that there's actually some theming and cohesion to the track list versus Drake putting out like the best 21 songs he's recorded in the last year or so. And I mean, hot take here, maybe. I don't know what the general consensus on Lord I Need You is, but Get Along Better is honestly it's a sleeper on this album, to be honest. It's got that super like powerful, hard-hitting synths in the instrumental, and you're actually getting some good Drake singing here, as well as a great Ty Dolla $ign performance. And Drake is, you know, he's being his silly little self. He's singing about how he's serenading this girl, thinking about how he might get along better with her friend. You know, it's just a great song, you know? I mean, the vibes are there. It sucks you in with that instrumental. And again, it's very powerful. You know, it's very encapsulating, I'd say. It's a very big moment for CLB. You Only Live Twice is probably the most underwhelming song on this board. It's Drake, Rick Ross, and Jay-Z. In theory, this could be a really, really great track, but honestly, all three of them kind of underperform on this overproduced instrumental. And I will be giving it this round to Pure Souls, although I don't really like Pure Souls that much either. These are both like passably good songs to me. They're fine. They get the job done, all that. Honestly, what puts Pure Souls over is that Roddy Ricch verse. It's definitely overhyped to a degree, but it is still great. And I think it's better produced, honestly. These are two albums where production is a very interesting topic, where sometimes they're great, sometimes they're overproduced, sometimes they're underproduced, sometimes the beats are just bad. It's all over the place. But Pure Souls definitely stands out as one of the stronger produced tracks here. I Miss You Too versus Come to Life. These are two very flawed tracks, in my opinion. These are two songs that are supposed to be, I think, big moments for the album that feel grandiose. Not as much I Miss You Too, but Come to Life feels very grandiose in its presentation. But man, Kanye West is not a good singer. I know people love this song and think of this as like a beautiful moment from Kanye West. And lyrical, content-wise, it might be. It makes a lot of sense within the album, but Kanye does not have the range that he thinks he does, and the range that his meat-riding fans think he does. Because again, these are both pretty bad songs to me. I Miss You Too is like, it's just at first I liked it because I was like, oh, Drake, Kid Cudi, this is like kind of hype, but now it's like just bland, generic, not good. I'm gonna give it to Come to Life here because it is a very like grandiose moment, and despite Kanye's trash singing, it's not as bad as, or it's actually just as bad as Drake's bad singing on I Miss You Too. No Child Left Behind is a song that actually features some really good singing from Kanye, as well as Vori, I want to say. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely better than it was on the last track, and this is a pretty great track. Again, I know people hype this up as like a super beautiful moment. It's not that to me, but it's still a great song, and it's taking on Fucking Fans, which is like trash song. There's a lot of like bad songs up here, but this is definitely one of the worst. Before we get to the last round, let's tally it up real quick, see what the score is going in. Kanye and Donda are up 12-8 on Drake. Obviously, Certified Lover Boy is lost at this point, and the last round is the Remorse versus Life of the Party, so it wouldn't have made a difference anyways. I mean, Life of the Party is legitimately one of the best songs to come out this decade so far. It has one of Andre 3000's best feature verses ever, which is a huge statement, because this man has a plethora of all-timer feature verses. And I mean, the Remorse, like, who even cares? It's up against Life of the Party. It would lose to like 20 seconds of that song, like it's over. So yeah, big win for Kanye. Shout out Donda, shout out Certified Lover Boy. They provided us as hip-hop fans with a lot of memorable moments and a lot of great discourse for the past couple of years. These are two albums that a lot of people have very, very strong opinions about. People either love or hate. These are honestly two like pretty forgettable albums to me. Obviously, like I said, Donda's better. We're not gonna get into that, but as a whole, both of these track lists are bloated. They're overdone at times. They're underbaked at times. Donda was not finished. Donda is still not finished. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Listen. Like, actually go through and listen to the album and tell me that half of the songs there sound like they were actually finished. The sequencing is also terrible. I feel like if you put Moon as like the second to last track on the album, it would work so much better. But nope, it's just randomly in there. CLB, obviously the track sequencing isn't as important, but at least there's a little bit of cohesion with, like, you get to the R&B tracks towards the end. This is where you're getting like real rappy Drake, and then this is like mostly mainstream type Drake. But I mean, yeah, I didn't want to do anything too serious to talk about these albums. I wanted to do something a little more fun, a little bit more opinionated, just share how I'm feeling about this and not so much of like math, numbers, whatever dumb shit. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to let me know in the comments how these albums have aged with you. It's been 2 years at this point. I'm sure, a lot of you guys have spent time listening to them like I have. Let me know. Let me know how you're feeling them now. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, not tuning in. Stay safe, y'all. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, put notifications on it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.